The Proteus K and Proteus X units have been upgraded to the next generation. During a transitioning period, some units were equipped with the next generation MCU board. These controllers are referred to as the Gen 3.5 controller. The programming of a Gen 3.5 controller is identical to the Gen 3.0, with a few minor changes that will be noted in this video. Our new generation controller is equipped with the next generation MCU, along with the next generation display. These controllers are now the Proteus Gen 4.0 and have many enhancements to the setup menu. This short video will highlight the programming differences between the three generations of controllers. Entering setup on all three Proteus generation controllers is done through the Utilities menu, and you are still prompted for a password. Gen 4.0 provides selection to choose between characters, numbers, and symbols in a slightly different arrangement. The setup menu, page 1, has not changed in its appearance. Some minor changes have been incorporated into the parameter labels for clarity purposes. Specific changes have been made to some parameters. Let's start with printer settings. The printer settings page is the same for both Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5. On the Gen 3.5, the internal printer and TCP/IP printer are shown but are not functional. This is due to a change to the MCU printing options. The Gen 4.0 display no longer offers those selection options. The Gen 3.5 4.0 printing is now controlled by cups via a network connection. Documentation on this process is available on our website. There have been no major changes to tank parameters, tank alarm settings, tank table, tank drop and other. Let's look at the tank color and orientation page. The tank orientation options are still the same, but now you must press the Save button to save your selection. Choosing the oil-water separator profile will make a change to the alarm settings parameters for the selected tank. On Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers, you must go into tank alarm settings, select your OWS tank number, and then press Next Page to get to page 2A. This is where you would enter the oil-water separator tank parameters. Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers provide a visual adjustment tool in the diagnostic page. When the OWS tank is selected, the Gen 4.0 goes directly to the oil-water separator tank alarm parameters, and the visual adjustment is accomplished via the invert offset parameter. Several changes have been made dealing with sensors, starting with sensor control. Initially, when there are no sensors found, the Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers will display this page. It shows the numbers of sensors allowable for the system type. To illustrate an example, a controller with 2xB416 boards will show 32 allowable sensors for the system. When the Press to Find New Sensors button is pressed, the screen displays a Please Wait message. The Gen 4.0 screen will show sensor number 00 when no sensors are found by the system. Pressing the Find or Delete Sensor buttons will prompt to confirm your selection. When finding sensors, the display will also show a 60-second countdown and increment each time a sensor is found. If sensors have been previously found in Gen 3.0, Gen 3.5 and Gen 4.0 controllers, the sensor control screen will default to sensor 1 and allow you to advance to the next sensor. This is mainly used for deleting sensors. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers, BX sensor parameters, offer a pop-up window for location choices. You must press the More button option to advance to the next pop-up. The Gen 4.0 location option is now a scrollable window with all available choices. The use of the Other option on Gen 3.0, Gen 3.5, and Gen 4.0 controllers allows for a custom location to be entered. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers offer two COM port options. They are RS-232 and RS-485 COM ports. Each option is selected by the drop-down arrow. The Gen 3.5 controller utilizes the new MCU board. The RS-485 option board must be mounted in the option slot 2 position, as shown. The Gen 4.0 controller offers 3 COM port options. They are the standard 9-pin RS-232 and 2 option board slots that can be equipped with an RS-232, RS-485 selectable communication board. Each option is selected by the drop-down arrow. The baud rate, parity, and connection type have also been changed to drop-down arrow selections. On the Gen 4.0 network settings, port type has been changed to drop-down arrow selections. A new feature, VPN, Virtual Private Network, has been added. VPN can be enabled or disabled. You will get prompted to confirm enabling the service. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers are factory set to provide 3 relay and 5 email options for MCU alarm events. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers' MCU relays are factory defaulted to light, horn modes, but can be programmed to meet specific needs. There are 2 programmable input mode options. The Gen 4.0 controller is factory set to provide 5 relay and 3 email options for MCU alarm events. This allows for the installation of an RAS3 and an RAS4 remote annunciator without the need for an extra relay board. The Gen 4.0 controller MCU relays are factory defaulted to light, horn, light modes, but can be programmed to meet specific needs. There are still 2 programmable input mode options. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers display the same data logs page, but handles log files in different manners. The Gen 3.0 controller stores log data in the controller's memory and as text files on an SD card. The memory stored logs are viewable through the reports menu. The SD card text files are viewable via the web page. The Gen 3.5 controller stores log data in the controller's memory only and is viewable through the reports menu and via the web page. Please note, clearing the log files on Gen 3.5 controllers deletes all stored data. As with the Gen 3.5, the Gen 4.0 controller stores log data in the controller's memory only and is viewable through the reports menu and via the web page. Please note, clearing the log files on Gen 4.0 controllers deletes all stored data. All 3 generations will prompt you to confirm the deletion process. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers provide 2 formats to display the time date displayed in the top left corner of any active screen. They provide month, day, year, or year, month, day formats. These are changed in the system units on the setup menu, page 1. Due to customer requests, the Gen 4.0 controller offers 8 formats to cover national and international requirements. They provide for different month, day, year, as well as 12 or 24-hour options. You are required to press the Save button to keep your selection. The Gen 3.0 controller's email properties only function properly for SMTP email servers. In some cases, internet email providers have SMTP servers available. The Gen 3.5 controller's email properties can handle SMTP and TLS email servers. Though it can be done via the display, the web page provides access to additional settings. The Gen 4.0 controller's email properties can handle SMTP and TLS email servers. The display now offers 2 TLS properties that can be enabled or disabled. These can be done via the web page. A drop-down selection allows for 4 options of server authentication. Customers requesting an enhancement upgrade or the replacement of an existing system board require a firmware upgrade. This is accomplished by accessing an SD card through a computer connected to the Gen 3.0 serial port. Running the update program opens a command prompt window requiring you to apply or bypass an installed system board. At the end of the process, the SD card must be switched out with the one mounted in the MCU board. The Gen 3.5 controller firmware upgrade can be performed via the web page. It can also be performed by using Hyperterminal or PuTTY remote software with direct access to the internet or from files downloaded to an SD card. A separate manual is available for this function on the Omtech website. The Gen 4.0 controller firmware upgrade can be performed via the setup menu, offering 3 options. As with the Gen 3.5 controller, it can also be done through the web page, or it can be performed by using Hyperterminal or PuTTY remote software with direct access to the internet or from files downloaded to an SD card. The Gen 3.0 and Gen 3.5 controllers, miscellaneous page 2, provides options for delivery page change, backlight timeout, home screen selection, home screen tank number, and door ajar horn. The Gen 4.0 controller, miscellaneous page 2, provides the same options except for 2 changes. Door ajar horn has been removed, and a backlight adjustment slider has been added to adjust display brightness. This completes the brief details and descriptions of the programming differences between the Proteus Gen 3.0, Gen 3.5, and Gen 4.0 controllers. For more detailed information, consult the programming manual or contact Omtech technical support.